Kaspa Price Prediction 2025. Kas is set to explode in 2026. Here is my data-driven analysis on this. You missed out on Bitcoin, you missed out on Solana too, but 2026 could be your third mistake if you do not understand why Kaspa is about to become the fastest proof-of-work blockchain in the world. In a moment, I'll show you with a data-driven analysis why Kaspa might not only rise, but could possibly change everything you believe about Layer 1 coins. Welcome to 10x Crypto, your channel for honest data-driven altcoin analysis. Today we're talking about Kaspa, the coin that combines Bitcoin security with Solana's speed. But before we get started, if you're looking for a crypto exchange that's fast, has low fees and is well regulated, then check out my partner exchange. You'll even get a bonus if you sign up using my link, which you'll find in the pinned comment. That's 50 euros in Bitcoin as a bonus, and you start directly at silver level, which means you get cash back. But now, what exactly is Kaspa? The coin that's supposed to be faster and better, and is even being called Bitcoin 2.0. Can a proof-of-work coin really be faster than Solana and still remain completely decentralized? Sounds impossible. No, because I'm going to explain to you now what really makes Kaspa special. Kaspa is currently the fastest proof-of-work blockchain in the world. It can generate multiple blocks in parallel thanks to a technology called Ghost DAG. This means transactions are confirmed within seconds and with the same level of security as Bitcoin. This isn't just theory. Kaspa is already processing over 150 million transactions per day. For comparison, Bitcoin handles around 500,000. The biggest problem with traditional blockchains: slow transactions, high fees. Bitcoin is secure but extremely slow. Solana is fast but centralized. Kaspa combines the best of both worlds: fast, secure, and truly decentralized. The trick? Kaspa uses what's called a block DAG, an evolution of the blockchain where multiple blocks can exist in parallel. This means no congestion, the chain stays ultra-fast even when millions of users are active at the same time. So before we dive into the analysis together, feel free to grab yourself a coffee and leave a like for me. And if you want to become an insider, check out my free group, the 10x Insiders. There, we exchange ideas about exciting altcoins, you get regular market updates from me, you get insight into the 10x Elite, which is extremely exciting. All the info is in the video description. But attention, a disclaimer, my channel is not financial advice, it's purely for informational purposes. Let's start with the market cap. Currently, Kaspa is at about $2 billion, which already puts it in the top 50 worldwide. That makes it a mid-cap altcoin, so it's exactly in the zone where growth is still possible. In the last 2 years, Kaspa has grown from under 100 million to almost 2 billion. That's definitely quite a statement. Compared to Solana, of course, there's still a lot of room to grow. Here's a strength, 8. Now let's move on to the next point, the circulating supply. And this is where Kaspa really scores big. Of a maximum of 28.7 billion Kas, over 93% are already in circulation. This means, of course, that not many more tokens will enter the market, which could help keep the price more stable. That naturally provides stability, which is why this area is strength number 9. Now let's move on to the roadmap. Kaspa has a clear roadmap and a technical vision, more speed, scalability, and long-term layer 2 support. After the successful Seskendo hard fork, a team is working on scaling from the current 10 blocks per second to 32 and later to 100. The goals are ambitious, but milestones have been met on time so far, a solid 7. Now let's move on to the team. Kaspa doesn't have an anonymous founder behind it, but Jonathan, a researcher. His work was even cited in Ethereum's white paper. In addition, there are developers from DAG Labs and a very active open source community. The team has clear blockchain expertise and academic depth, a strong 8. On to the narrative. Kaspa claims to be the fastest proof-of-work blockchain, or even Bitcoin 2.0. That naturally appeals to both Bitcoin fans and tech investors at the same time. At a time when proof-of-stake projects are under pressure to centralize, Kaspa stands for real decentralization and technical elegance. A strong 9, because what problem are they actually solving? The classic blockchain trilemma. They want to solve security, decentralization, and speed with the Ghost the Deck algorithm, which allows multiple parallel blocks to be processed. That's already a game changer. On top of that, transactions only take seconds, and that's with proof of work security. A strong 9. Then there's sustainability and energy efficiency. Kaspa uses the so-called heavy hash algorithm, which was developed specifically for energy efficient mining. It was developed for this purpose. Compared to Bitcoin, Kaspa uses 20 to 50% less energy per transaction. And Kaspa can run on regular CPUs, which of course makes mining more decentralized. A strong 8. Next, investors. In the early phases, Polychain Capital was involved, a renowned name in the scene. But since the fair launch, Kaspa has been funded exclusively through donations. This of course supports its independence. A strong 8. Now let's move on to the competitors. Kaspa naturally competes directly with Solana, Ethereum and Bitcoin, but also with new projects like Aptos and Sui. But unlike Solana, it doesn't have centralized validators. And compared to Bitcoin, Kaspa is up to 100 times faster. A completely new proof-of-work category is emerging here, Strength 8. And if you want analyses of the competitors, then check out the playlist The 10x Universe. And for next weekend, I've analyzed 2 altcoins that could be interesting for you. So subscribe to the channel and activate the bell so you don't miss it. Let's move on to marketing. Kaspa relies on organic growth, community marketing instead of expensive advertising campaigns. The members organize their own events, like at the Kaspa Expo. Experience in Berlin and local meetups, for example, in Asia. That's authentic and credible. A solid 7 here. Now let's move on to the simplicity of the idea. Kaspa can actually be explained in one sentence: Bitcoin, but faster. I think everyone understands that, which also makes communication easy. And even complex concepts like block-DAG become easy to understand through visualization. Parallel blocks. A strong 8 in this area. So what about the long-term vision? Kaspa wants to become the infrastructure of Web3. The goal? A scalable proof-of-work blockchain for DeFi, gaming and payments. With Layer 2 plans and MEV resistance, the vision is clear. Bitcoin speed with security and internet speed. And of course, they're also releasing smart contracts. In this area, one strength is enough, 8. Kaspa has no fixed upper limit, but 28.7 billion coins, no looking back. No printing, no inflation. The block rewards halve geometrically every month. That's similar to Bitcoin, but much more dynamic. A strong 9. Then the fully diluted market optimization. The ratio of FDV to market cap is 1.07 times, so practically perfect. No hidden tokens, no overvaluation. In this area, a strong 10. Now, the volume, over $50 million in trading volume, leading to a strong ratio of 0.0258, which is 25 times higher than the target value. This means Kaspa has high liquidity and genuine interest. A strong 10. Let's move on to the fully diluted market capitalization. The ratio between market capitalization and FDV is 1.06 times. In other words, that's almost perfect. No hidden tokens, no overvaluation. A strong 10. Then how was the token distribution? Kaspa was launched almost completely fairly. No pre-mine, no insider allocations, no VC unlocks. All of this is earned through mining. That's rare, especially in 2025, and it's a huge plus. A strong 10. The top coin holders are kept as low as possible. The largest wallets, roughly the top 100 wallets, hold 20 to 25% of the supply. That's solid, well distributed, and better than in many other projects. There also aren't any wallets that hold more than 5%, except of course for the major exchanges. A solid 7 here. So what about its utility? KS is naturally used as a gas token for transactions. On top of that, there are mining rewards, future smart contracts, layer 2 functionality, and the blockchain itself. It's already being used today for micropayments and in the DeFi sector, a strong 8. Next, let's talk about the community. KAS has an extremely strong community. There are a huge number of followers on X, Discord, and Telegram. Every day, there are conversations, meetups, and AMAs. Of course, the community is based on the project and drives it forward. There's no company behind it. Strong 9. And if you're a Kaspa holder or investor, then show yourself. Leave a comment #Kaspa. Put it in the comments so that many others become aware of videos like this and understand just how strong it really is. Events in Q4 of this year are going to be exciting, with the 32 BPs upgrade, new exchange listings, events in London and Hong Kong, new partnerships. These could be strong catalysts, and next year it will get even better, so that's a strength. 8. If I'm being honest, Kaspa is one of those coins where you either sell too early or never get it this cheap again, because the data speaks for itself, and that's also why such an analysis is so important. We're not talking about hype here, but about real technology, decentralization, proof of work, something that could really take off in 2026. On my 10x ranking list, Kaspa scores 83%. Why? It's simple. Fundamentally, Kaspa is extremely strong. Now others just need to realize this too, so the price can follow suit. The GOAT-DAG algorithm is a technical innovation. The tokenomics are strong. 93% of the tokens are already in circulation. The community is strong. It's based on community. It keeps growing and growing. As more and more people truly realize how strong Kaspa actually is, the price will follow. Before we move on to the conclusion together, let me recommend the 10x Elite to you. There, you get access to the 10x ranking list, you get a look into my portfolio, you get up to daily news updates from the entire market from me, my trades that I make. You get access to the 10x indicator on TradingView. You get a ton of important things to help you ultimately have a complete overview of the market. Feel free to check out the tutorial above, otherwise scan the QR code here or check the video description. Kaspa is one of those coins you look at years later, and then you say, damn, why didn't I get into it earlier? It's just not a hype coin that gets pumped up in the end. And then in the end it crashes massively again. Instead, it's associated with technological long-term growth. But now let's get to the price scenarios. Imagine the crypto market continues to grow slowly, but investors remain cautious. They don't recognize the value of Kaspa. They might prefer bigger names. In this scenario, Kaspa could go to 10 cents per coin. That would be rather disappointing. Let's move on to the normal scenario. The market is growing healthily. The altcoin season arrives, the crypto market expands, including in terms of overall market modeling. In that case, Kaspa could also join in the growth. Not overnight, but steadily and solidly. In this market phase, 17 cents would be possible. Now let's get to the optimistic scenario. Imagine Kaspa manages to further expand its roadmap. 100 blocks per second, layer 2. Support real DeFi volume on a proof of work basis. Then, in that case, we're actually no longer talking about just cents, but about real dollars. Then, as a result, Kaspa could potentially rise to $1 in effect. That is also quite ambitious, but it is still within the scope and mathematically possible. Now let's look at the very optimistic scenario. What if Kaspa not only delivers, but becomes a dominant proof of work network? After Bitcoin, of course. Institutional money would then flow into the decentralized sector, Kaspa, because they are looking for a solution for everyday use. Then we're talking about prices from $2 to $3.5 per coin. That would of course be an absolute game changer. And what could happen in 2030? First comes the bear market, then the next bull market. So in 2030, what could be possible in the next bull market? If the overall market really grows massively here, mass adoption finally happens, and Bitcoin is digital gold. Ethereum is the infrastructure, and Kaspa is the new layer for speed payments and real mass usage. Then, theoretically, Kaspa could reach prices between $5 and $10, maybe even more if it really establishes itself as a global proof-of-work layer chain. By the way, I'll link where you can get Kaspa below in the pinned comment. And now let's get to my chart analysis. What does the chart look like right now? What chart patterns are there? All of that right now. Hello and welcome to my chart file on Kaspa. First of all, just for your information, I use TradingView and a custom developed indicator. What's important is that the indicator shows two things. For example, when many people are selling, that means we're entering oversold zones. This is always indicated by a green dot. For me, for example, this means an interesting entry point here, where I can also find entries using dollar cost averaging, and where you would otherwise be blind, I can at least here. At the very least, I can gather enough data to see approximate entry points that might make sense. On the other hand, if for example many people are buying and we end up in overbought zones because of FOMO and so on, you can also see this here based on data. Okay, a red dot appears, we're in the overbought area. That might mean it's better to take partial profits now or maybe even exit completely. That's basically how my 10x indicator works. And with Kaspa, this is how things look at the moment. We've been sold off here and we've entered an oversold zone, as you can see here. That means green dots, even if they appear twice, which means this would, at least theoretically, be considered a good entry point for you. Personally, I'm considering building up more Kaspa positions now because we're currently in the oversold zone. But it's important to note that this is not buy or sell advice, not financial advice, just my personal approach. If you want to use the 10x indicator yourself for your data-driven analyses, then check out the 10x Elite. There, you'll get full access to the 10 indicator via TradingView for as long as you're a 10x Elite member. All information can be found in the video description. Now that you know the chart analysis of Kaspa, I'll link you to another altcoin here.